the clarion call of the president is one of his biggest trademark, and an agenda is the issue of climate action, climate change, Mr. Speaker, and that is where the world is. I know many Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, used to think climate change can only be restricted to countries that belong to first world countries, like the America, the Europe, and others. But the climate change is here with us, Mr. Speaker. As you are aware, we are experiencing unusual long drought and famine, which was unheard of when some of us were growing up during our younger days, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, therefore, it is very important that the government comes in and ensures that this climate council is in place, and competent men and women are being appointed to serve as members, Mr. Speaker, sir. The clarion call of the president, Mr. Speaker, has been, and I want to urge Kenyans wherever they are, the rains have begun. Where I come from in Nandi, the rains have begun slightly 2 weeks ago. Nairobi here, throughout the night up today, Mr. Speaker, is raining. I want to challenge all of us senators. Let us be the ones leading by planting the trees. There is nothing as beautiful as planting a tree. It can change the environment. The reason many people, Mr. Speaker, and I always say, the reason many people like to go to hotels is not because of the buildings. It is because where the trees are planted, be it ornamental, be it indigenous, the beauty of the trees that attracts many people, Mr. Speaker. You look even at Karura Forest, where a number of us go and train daily to try and lose weight, Mr. Speaker, and get summer bodies, Mr. Speaker, is their biggest challenge. Mr. Speaker, I'm proud of Nandi because as we talk, Nandi has 3 forests. It's the only county that has 3 forests. Nandi North, Nandi South, and the forest that is near Kapsabet town, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, in the clarion call of the president, that in the next 10 years, we should plant at least 15 billion trees, Mr. Speaker. We are aware that the challenges of climate change. So the burden on these men and women that have been appointed and approved by the House to be appointed by the President, Mr. Speaker, is to take that charge and ensure they bring a link between the counties and the national government, Mr. Speaker, sir. Because I know in the past, as a House that protects the interests as per Article 96 of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, devolution and counties, there will be that link between the National Assembly and the national government and the counties, Mr. Speaker. I want to challenge the council. I have seen there is representation of National Treasury, Ministry of Environment, representation of Council of Governors, Mr. Speaker, where luckily you served as the governor and a member of COG when you serve as the chair JLAC, and I serve as the chair JLAC at the Senate. And then this will bring the synergy in terms of refocusing our energies, Mr. Speaker, into appropriate way of focusing the issue of energy, Mr. Speaker. When you go to Kericho County, Nandi and Bomet, Mr. Speaker, I want to encourage, because when you see the expansive farms, Mr. Speaker, we need to plant trees in those expansive farms so that we can improve on carbon credits. I know when you go to Wazingishi, especially Moiben sub-county where Senator Jackson Mandago comes from, or AKA Jack Ma, you see expansive, of course, not Jack Ma of China, Mr. Speaker, but our local Jack Ma here. Mr. Speaker, when you look at Moiben, the part of Moiben sub-county, the other part is so expansive that you can't even notice a tree. I think it is behold such counties to come up measures of planting trees across the road and anywhere. And also I know Nairobi, at least there is a disease of grabiosis most of the land. It also challenged the Senate of Nairobi Pier to be part of reclaiming those land and transforming them into the forest, Mr. Speaker, which is very important, Mr. Speaker. So the issue of climate and environment is at the core of our Constitution. And I'm happy this time and age where the President has taken personal initiative. And Mr. Speaker, you know, when we have the blessings, Mr. Speaker, of the highest office, things will move. Like the way today, Mr. Speaker, when we had our blessings, when we were launching the OGP and we had the blessings of your office, we want to thank the Secretariat, the Senator colleagues who joined us, led by minority and majority leader, other House leadership, your representatives, even the Secretariat of the House, and even the catering, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy At least senators today, Mr. Speaker, what a wonderful breakfast, 5-star breakfast. Mr. Speaker, I think you should make it your tradition so that our loyalty is absolute. Make sure at least every morning we can have a 5-star breakfast.